Children and Mirrors, Folklore, Early Exposure, and Perceptual Sensitivity. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Mirror series. In today's video, we're exploring a chilling and fascinating topic: children and mirrors. As parents, we often brush off the strange things our children say, like when they tell us they see people, or talk about imaginary friends or unseen presences. But what if these experiences are more than just childhood imagination? What if, in some cases, children are actually seeing things in the mirror that we can't see? They may be perceiving something spiritual, entities, spirits, or even energies that have crossed through the reflective surface of the mirror. In this video, we'll explore the historical folklore surrounding children and mirrors, how early exposure to mirrors can heighten perceptual sensitivity, and the psychic implications of a child's ability to see beyond the physical world. The spiritual sensitivity of children and mirrors. From a spiritual perspective, children are often considered to be more energetically sensitive than adults. Their minds are still developing, and they haven't yet formed the rigid mental filters that adults have to block out non-physical phenomena. This heightened sensitivity makes them receptive to spiritual energies, especially in environments where reflective surfaces, like mirrors, are present. Children's natural ability to perceive spirits. Many cultures believe that children are more spiritually attuned than adults. They are said to have a closer connection to the spiritual world and are often able to perceive energies or entities that are invisible to adults. This is often explained by the belief that children have not yet been conditioned by societal norms or cognitive filters to dismiss what they see, feel, or sense. For this reason, children are more likely to encounter spiritual entities, unseen presences, and paranormal occurrences, especially when interacting with mirrors, which are believed to be gateways to other realms. Mirrors as spiritual portals. Why children are more vulnerable. Mirrors have long been believed to be portals to the spirit world. While adults may be unaware or dismissive of the phenomena they experience through mirrors, children are more perceptive and often seem to have the ability to see beyond the physical reflection. The reflective nature of mirrors can amplify both positive and negative energies in the surrounding environment, making them an ideal vessel for spirits, entities, and energies to manifest. The mirror. As a gateway, mirrors are reflective gateways, and when a child looks into a mirror, they may be opening themselves up to spirits, entities, or energies. This could explain why children often claim to see people or talk to spirits that adults can't perceive. In some folklore, it's believed that mirrors are not just surfaces that reflect physical reality, but also act as a portal to the spiritual realm. For children, who are more energetically sensitive, this portal can allow them to perceive things that adults are unable to see. Folklore. Children and their ability to see beyond the physical. In many cultures, mirrors are associated with the soul. They are believed to reflect not only the physical self, but also the spiritual essence of a person. There are several legends and superstitions tied to mirrors and their connection to children's spiritual sensitivity. The folklore of the third eye. In some Eastern traditions, it's believed that children's third eye, or sixth sense, is particularly open and active during their early years. The third eye, located in the forehead area between the eyes, is thought to be the center of spiritual perception. Children, with their unclouded minds, may have a naturally open third eye, which enables them to perceive energies or spiritual beings, such as those in mirrors, that adults cannot. The mirror can amplify this spiritual connection, acting as a reflective surface that enhances the child's ability to see things beyond the physical realm. The other people in the mirror. One common belief across many cultures is that children who see people or figures in mirrors are not just seeing imaginary friends, but are interacting with spirits. In South American folklore, there is the belief that spirits of the deceased can enter through mirrors, especially if the mirrors are placed in the bedroom or living room. Children, due to their sensitivity, are believed to be able to see these spirits clearly, while adults cannot. There are stories from various cultures about children who spoke of meeting people in mirrors, often saying they saw strangers or unfamiliar faces, but no one could see them except the child. One famous case is of a child from a small village in Mexico who repeatedly claimed to see a woman in the mirror. The child described the woman's appearance in detail, and after some investigation, the parents found that the house had once belonged to a woman who had died tragically. The child's ability to see her in the mirror was believed to be due to the spiritual link between children and the afterlife. Children who tell their parents they see people. There are many reported cases where children tell their parents that they see people, ghosts, or even shadow figures in mirrors. This is often brushed off as imagination or nightmares. But what if these children are actually perceiving spirits or entities that have crossed over into the living world through mirrors? Case example: the child who saw the man in the mirror. In a well-known case shared by paranormal investigators, a child named Mia was observed for weeks claiming that she saw a man in the mirror at night. Her parents thought it was just her imagination until they began to notice other unexplained phenomena. Mia would become anxious and refuse to go near the mirror at night, claiming the man in the reflection would stare at her. Eventually, the family noticed a cold spot near the mirror and began hearing strange whispers coming from the room at night. Upon consulting with a spiritual medium, it was revealed that the mirror was acting as a portal, and the man Mia had seen was likely a spirit who had been trying to cross over but had become attached to the mirror. After covering the mirror and conducting a spiritual clearing, the disturbances stopped, and Mia stopped seeing the man in the mirror. Why children are more vulnerable to spiritual influence. Through mirrors. Children are much more energetically sensitive than adults. They haven't yet built the filters that we use to block out the unseen, and they have an innate ability to perceive spiritual energies. This makes them particularly vulnerable to the influence of mirrors. Psychic sensitivity and spiritual perception. Unlike adults, who may dismiss strange occurrences as coincidence or imagination, children are more likely to speak openly about seeing things they don't understand. The reflection in a mirror can act as a spiritual mirror, allowing children to perceive entities, spirits, or energies that exist in the astral or spiritual realms. These experiences can be unsettling for the child, who may not have the tools to differentiate between what's physical and what's spiritual. Unseen forces and spirit attachment. Another factor that contributes to children's vulnerability is their emotional energy. Children often have weaker energetic boundaries than adults and are more susceptible to spiritual influence. Mirrors, because they reflect and amplify energy, can act as magnifying glasses for spiritual entities. Negative or lost spirits may use the mirror as a conduit to attach themselves to the child's energy field, creating disturbances in their emotional and spiritual well-being. How to protect children from spiritual influences in mirrors. Cover mirrors at night. If your child is expressing fear or claiming to see spirits in the mirror, it's a good idea to cover mirrors in their bedroom or any room where they sleep. This simple act of covering the mirror can prevent it from acting as a spiritual portal and block the reflection from influencing your child. Clear the space. Use cleansing methods like sage, Palo Santo, or salt to clear any negative energy in the space. Walk around the mirror and use affirmations to release any spirits that may be attached to it. Create safe boundaries. Teach children to set boundaries in their own spiritual practice. Let them know that they are protected and that they can call on spiritual guardians or angels to keep them safe from any unwanted entities. Use protective symbols. You can place protective symbols like crystals or sacred objects around the mirrors. Black tourmaline or selenite are known for their protective properties and can help shield your child from negative spiritual influences. Mirrors hold a mysterious and powerful place in spiritual folklore, and children, due to their heightened spiritual sensitivity, are particularly vulnerable to the energies and entities that mirrors can attract. By understanding the connection between children and mirrors, we can better protect them from the unseen forces that may be interacting with them through these reflective surfaces. In the next video, we'll explore mirrors and moonlight, how lunar energy enhances psychic abilities, lunar scrying, and the spiritual implications of using mirrors during certain moon phases. Until then, remember, mirrors are not just windows into our physical world. They can also be windows into realms we may not fully understand. Hi, I'm Adeline Atlas. 11 times published author and School of Soul has just released one of our most requested deep dives, the Magic and Occult series. This series is not for the faint of heart. It's for those who know there's more going on beneath the surface, behind the media, behind the family, behind the system. This series breaks the spell and hands you the map. The Magic and Occult series includes over 200 videos on 1. Entertainment or ritual. Decoding mainstream media as mass spellwork. 2. Occult families. Spot them. How generational magic and ritual lineage hides in plain sight. 3. Occult symbolism. The signs, seals, and signals used to claim, curse, or command. 4. Esoteric symbolism. Layered meaning, sacred geometry, and encoded messages. 5. Law is magic. How contracts, courts, and language are rituals of power. 6. Spells and spirits. What magic really is, and what happens when you use it. 7. Covens and lodges. Where modern ritual happens, and who's involved. 8. Destiny swapping. How rituals steal timelines, talent, or soul contracts. 9. Energy harvesting. Spiritual parasitism, and how to seal your field. 10. The clairs. Your intuitive senses. Clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and more. 11. Become magical. How to strengthen your gifts, protect your mind, and wield conscious force. 12. Miracles are real, divine intervention, faith portals, and supernatural reversals. 13. The chosen ones. What sets them apart and why they're always targeted. 14. The black sheep, the generational breaker, often isolated by design. 15. Targeted individuals, spiritual and technological targeting of aware souls. 16. Gang stalking, organized spiritual and psychological warfare. This is the most revealing, most spiritually advanced, and most protective series SOS has ever released. If you've ever felt something was off about this world, this will confirm it and prepare you for what comes next. Your protection begins with knowledge. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault.